What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV, and Shannon Sharp has done it once again, y'all. He got another interview that's like really striking gold right now. MoNique's interview is at 2 million views. I promise y'all, probably by tomorrow it's gonna be at 3, 4, probably maybe 5 million tomorrow. Seriously, it's gaining traction, and she got a whole lot of quotables. I'm not even finished with the interview yet. I'm at like the hour and like 15-minute mark, and she's already said a lot of different things and discussed a lot of different topics, things that she's already discussed before, in particular her problems with Lee Daniels, Oprah Winfrey, and Tyler Perry labeling her as hard to work with, right? She discussed this Tyler Perry, she recording Tyler Perry discussing how he started a rumor that she was hard to work with, and you know, all the different things that she felt like, how she was wronged in the industry. I'm gonna say this, man. Shannon Sharp gives people a platform where they can be heard, and they can be heard in a different way. Why do I say that? A lot of people are feeling like, you know, they wasn't agreeing with MoNique at first, but now after seeing her on this platform, they agree with her and they feel like, hey, you were wronged. And some people are like, what's so different about the message now versus what she was saying years ago, right? And I think the difference is that Shannon is such a good interviewer, and also that she doesn't have her defenses up when she comes in talking to Shannon Sharp. When she went to the Breakfast Club, she came on defense already, because Charlamagne the God had already given her Donkey of the Day. So she felt like she had a chip on her shoulder walking in, so she came in with hostility. Other platforms have probably denied or feel like, hey, maybe you didn't deserve a certain amount of money for a Netflix special. You weren't wrong, and she knew that they already were saying that she wasn't wronged. So she came in there with a point to prove, and she was on defense. Shannon Sharp has as far as we know, has never made those comments about her, and he's letting her talk freely, letting her get it off her chest and all of that, and so it comes across different because she's not on defense when she's talking to him. She's just simply telling her story, and I think you can hear it differently, right? In the interview, she speaks about Taraji P. Henson and how, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't have the particulars about the whole Color Purple movie or whatever, right? But she talks about Oprah Winfrey. Well, she talked about Taraji talking about being underpaid in Hollywood, and as a black woman, how black women are underpaid and disregarded compared to their white counterparts, white leads in movies, etc. And she spoke about how, you know, when Taraji was talking about it, she wrote an open love letter to Oprah Winfrey, when it can be, I don't know if she said it can be implied that Oprah had a hand in her being underpaid in certain situations, and she felt like there was some negative energy between Oprah and Taraji. It was something there that was unspoken, and now she, like, you know, when you write an open love letter to Oprah, it undermines what you really were trying to get across, right? And if that's the case, it can do that if you write a love letter to a person that you feel like is playing a part in you being underpaid or whatever. But I don't know the particulars of that. But I will say she spoke about why people are looking at her and Taraji speaking out about being underpaid differently than MoNique. And I think it all matters about who the person is. And I know people are going to disagree. People are heard differently. When a person that you know is really chill and humble and really mild-mannered is upset about something, we always take it serious. What we say, black folks, when a person is usually quiet and chill, when they're upset, we say, oh no, something got to be going on, because they usually chill. They usually ain't just rowdy and causing ruckus. Something got to be going on, because that person is usually chill, right? And that's the case with Taraji. Why people took Taraji seriously, I don't think it was because MoNique is a bigger woman and all of that and that. I don't think it was anything to do with that. I think that people are known MoNique to have to be like more of a rambunctious or hostile person in certain situations, or, you know, MoNique has had this track record of getting into it with people or having problems with folks compared to Taraji. So people looked at it differently coming from Taraji versus MoNique, right? And I understand that, you know what I mean? I will say, coming from this interview, so far in the interview, I'm not even finished. And I know some people are going to critique how you going to make a video about an interview that you haven't finished yet. But I really wanted to discuss this because me and my boy Melvin was talking about it. But I do feel like, yeah, I think after hearing it, I do feel like, you know, I did come away with a different opinion about MoNique and her underpaid situation. After hearing her and her voice, her life and her certain struggles that she's had with Lee Daniels, etc., I do come away with a different, I look at it a little differently than what I did before. You know what I mean? Because I have criticized MoNique and stuff, right? And so I do look at her in a certain different light too. And I feel like what she was saying was genuine. And I do believe her with a lot of the you know, with Tyler Perry being recorded saying that he started that rumor. I do believe a lot of that. A ton of that. I really, really do. And so I can agree with her on that. Now, when it comes to her and D.L. Hughley having a back and forth, I made a video about them having a whole clashing about who was the headliner on a tour. I mean, on a show, and they got into it about it. And you know, she basically said first the problem she had with D.L. started when she went on his radio show, and D.L. Hughley wasn't there, but his co-host Jasmine, I'll forget her last name, she played this game. In the game, she had a scenario where, okay, would you rather your husband, her husband Sidney Hicks, would you rather him have sex with Lee Daniels with a condom, or would you rather him have sex with Superhead without one, right? As I'm talking about this, my son comes into the camera, ironically, right? But she said, would you rather have, the girl Jasmine asked MoNique, would you rather your husband have sex with Lee Daniels with a condom or Superhead without one? Which is a disrespectful question. I don't care how you play, that ain't how nobody should be playing with nobody. Don't put nobody's husband in those fake scenarios where they're having sex with a man. Or even insinuating him having sex with another woman too. But really too, that gay, because it's like, what are you trying to imply? That's funny style. Why would you put another woman's husband in a scenario where he could be having sex with another man? That's very weird to me, right? And so MoNique had a right to be pissed about it. She called D.L. Hughley. D.L. say, oh, that's just how it is. It's how we play. It is how it is, right? And D.L. Hughley responded to that. And in his response, he did say, look, my boy, he's trying to be seen. He wanted to be in the video too. And so, in D.L. Hughley basically responded and was like, listen, that's just how in so many words he did say, like, hey, we do that joke type of stuff with everybody. But I don't care. You can't be playing with everybody like that. And I don't think that's a joke you should be playing like that. That's not okay to be playing with somebody's husband or somebody's family like that and putting them in those scenarios. That ain't cool, right? But then he spoke about, and I will say this now. He spoke about how, and I think two things could be true. I do think that MoNique was done wrong in certain situations with Lee Daniels and Oprah Winfrey and stuff. And I do think she was done wrong. But I will say this. I always did find it funny when a person is into it with their whole family. And in the interview, he asked her about what is her relationship with her family. Shannon Sharp asked her that. And she said, you know, my family, they my biological family, but it stays there basically, right? They my family, but hey, it stays right there to that point. My boy want to stay with me. He said, it's my family. She said, it's my family, but it stays right there. And I'm like, you don't get along with nobody in your family? I do find that strange, unless they're empathizing with her abuser, because her brother was molesting her allegedly when she was young. And if they're all empathizing with her brother and she feel like, oh, I can't fool with none of y'all. If that's the case, then I understand that, right? Because that molestation dynamic is different. But if it's not a situation like that and you don't get along with your whole family, I do look at that suspicious. Like, you know, and I will say this, MoNique has got into quarrels and problems with a lot of people that she worked with. So it could be a little smoke to that. You know what I mean? Do they not like her husband? Is her husband a certain type of dude? Now, I'm going to say this. I've always said this. I do feel like her calling her husband daddy publicly, I do feel like that's strange. That's weird to me, right? Now, I understand everybody's relationship dynamics and how they interact with their partner is different, but I do feel like her calling her husband daddy in public settings is very weird to me. I'm sorry. I do feel like that's strange. But, you know, I do find it like, yo, why you and your whole family don't get along? It's kind of like when Kobe Bryant passed away. You know, Kobe family still ain't interacting with Vanessa Bryant like that. Y'all couldn't find common ground even amongst his passing and y'all granddaughter's passing and Vanessa's daughter passing. Y'all still couldn't find a common ground. It's something to there. It's something to where they don't like Vanessa. Do they feel like Vanessa was extorting Kobe? Something was going on with that. Their family sitting, they not even up front. Nobody mentioning the family at the funeral. Nobody mentioning his mom, his dad, his brother and sister. I mean, his sisters and stuff. That's strange to me, right? So I do feel like MoNique got a little something with her to where she clashing with everybody is a little strange, you know? And I feel like this. With MoNique, when they had their problem with the headlining situation, she went on stage cussing DL out, calling them every name but the child of God, and then said you let your daughter get molested and you ain't do nothing about it. Now, I did hear that DL's daughter allegedly was molested, and DL allegedly did not believe her at some point. I don't know where they came from, but I'm hearing that. But I do feel like, yo, when you say that about a man, it's going to incite drama and going to incite y'all to go clash. But I also feel like DL wrong if he let his co-host ask some type of questions and he didn't side with MoNique and question that. So yeah, I do believe where two things could be true. MoNique was done wrong by certain individuals in Hollywood, and she's going up against these big entities that did blackball her, possibly, for sure. But also, I feel like her and her husband got a little dynamic to him. He might be using her a little bit to her husband. He might be a little shicey and shady too, and it could be a little crazy, you know?